Okay, I think we are live. I will open up my YouTube app here to make sure we are.
What is going on, crypto family? Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me?
What's going on, everybody?
All right.
I should grab my spare laptop. Sorry, just 1 second. I want to make sure I can see all the chats.
No worries. Yeah, what is up? Let's see. You got Black Pitch. What is going on, buddy? Crypto Don Juan, Shahid. Who else we got here? Crypto Terp. Armando, what's up, brother? Storts. Robin. Stingin. What is going on, people? Over here on the Elliots, we got Alan, Troy, Rebel, Darren, Peter, CFOA. What's going on, everybody? All right. It looks like I can hear you in the background, Elliot.
I'm there. I'm here, and also
look at that kitchen. What a great looking kitchen, man.
Wow, thank you. You know,
Tron chat, love it.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I just got this. This is custom. This is designer. You could say it's couture.
Love it, man. I think
I'm loving your hat too. I'm loving your hat as well.
Awesome.
So what are you feeling on this auspicious day? This day where we see an amazing green numbers here in the market. How's it making you feel?
I hear manipulation, and I think. Do you have the volume up on a monitor in the background?
I don't. Are you hearing some buzz? You hearing some feedback?
Yeah, I can hear an echo.
All right, let me get some headphones out then.
All right. No, I think it's like you're playing the actual video, and it's about 15 seconds behind.
Oh yeah, you know what? It might be my mic feeding back here. So let me just do this. Let me do this.
Let's see here. What's up, peoples? Let's let Elliot get all squared away.
Sorry about this. We are so busy chatting. I forgot to do the basics here. Okay.
Me? Let me check. Let's see if it's me then. Is it this maybe? No, that's off. That it? All right, let's try that. Maybe that was me. I'm over here making fun of you.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Hey, everybody on FUD TV, give me a little comments. Tell me if the sound is right. Tell me if you're hearing everything well. Let me know what's going on. Let's see here. Get a little.
All right.
Let me know if everything's coming in.
No echoes.
No echoes. Everything sounds good to me. So we can just move on, and if we hear a bunch of complaints, we can figure out how to fix it. Yo, Robin Gomez. So far no complaints about the sound. Cool. Sounds great. All right, guys. Sweet. Welcome. Better late than never. Here we are on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. And yeah, crypto is pumping. So I guess what everybody's thinking, what everybody's wondering is, should we be excited? And obviously you should always be excited, but maybe not about inevitable, impending, very certain, very soon moon of any of these coins. I don't know. What do you think about that over there, Robert?
I think right now what we're seeing is a lot of manipulation. I think that what we've seen is, a lot of over the counter, like OTC trades, and people have been, some of the largest in the space have been kind of gobbling it up. And, then they'll start moving it to exchanges a little bit. They'll start having some high frequency bots start doing what they do. And I think you start seeing some pumps, and then you see some dumps, and then the cycle just kind of repeats, right? I think that we're seeing kind of deja vu quite a bit this year. I know if you look at, like, we had $21 billion in market cap come in just like in the past week. Everybody's like, oh my God, it's gonna fall beneath 100 billion. What's this gonna mean for the sentiment of the space? And then, we're like at 121 billion. Let's see if I can pull this up while I'm talking with you here. It looks like it's, let's see here. So yeah, 121 billion. So if the 50X rule stays true, which basically means for every dollar you put into the market cap, it bumps it up about $50. That means $420 million came in, and that raised it up $21 billion. So, 420 million is a lot of money, right? But when you're looking at some of these over-the-counter trades that are coming in when they're in the thousands of Bitcoin, and the millions and millions of dollars, and then they take it kind of where it's all kind of in the shadows, and then they kind of move just little bits and pieces to the exchanges and start selling it and things like that. You can kind of see these pumps happen because, I mean, think about it. What really happened in the news to get any of this price action to start pumping up? Like nothing came out, right? I mean, the Fed today, if anything, just raised it up like 25 basis points, as far as the interest rate, for the US. So you would think that would kind of like maybe do the opposite. So obviously I think it's manipulation, but that's, just me. What do you think?
Yeah, no, you're bang on. I think one of the main things that I've been focusing on is just the volume. We focus a lot on these big numbers, 100 billion. You brought it up there, 100 billion. We have however many billions in volume of trading and transaction volume, and the very unsettling sort of feeling is how much actual money from our fiat system has actually been put in total. Like what's the actual amount of US dollar equivalent that's gone from cash
I suck at math. Let me ask Siri. Hey Siri, what is 121 billion divided by 50?
121 billion divided by 50 is 2,420,000,000.
So 2.4 billion.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're using that metric, it's it's just the wash trading is kind of out of control. I did a video on wash trading. It's it just makes it hard to tell, right? We just don't know what it we know that there's a very strong use case for these assets. It's annoying because it obscures the value. We use these things like market volume. We use certain indicators on price to understand the value of these assets. But it is a bit frustrating when you see those tools being called into question and saying, oh, what's the value of this indicator, when you could just fake it. And so that's and then you ask yourself who would fake it, and you say, okay, well, exchanges have the motivation, coins teams have the motivation and the ability, motive and ability and opportunity. And so you could say that maybe there is a lot of good actors, but there's also some people who you have exchanges you've never heard of with exchange with volumes as big as Coinbase, and you're going, how is this how is this possible? And the answer is it's not. So I mean, that's the main thing. But yeah, I hope everyone gets in at the bottom. I hope everyone buys the bottom, and I personally am not staying awake at night trying to catch the knife. So
yeah, no, great points. Great points. I actually saw a chart. One of my buddies, Dylan, sent it over to me. It was actually the exchange volume and like what is real and what is fake. I don't know if you saw that chart or not. I'll dig it up, when we're off air, and I'll send it to you, or I'll maybe see if I can find it online. I mean, I actually have the downloaded PDF. It is insane. It's like, and again, I wonder if Binance put this out, but it looks like every exchange except Binance was like only reporting like 5% real volume. Like the rest of it was 95% fake. So
yep.
99% fake. It was retardedly crazy. The whoever put this out, whoever made this, hopefully it's it's not fake, right? But I'll find it and I'll put it in the description below so people can see it. Yeah, it was crazy when I was looking at that stuff. So for people that are new to both of us, right? Maybe we should just do like a little quick intro.
Yeah.
For my audience, tell them who Elliot is, and how you got into the space, all that kind of cool stuff, and just kind of let everybody know who everybody is.
Well, that's a fine idea, Robert. What a fine idea. I'll start off here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Robert? Introduce yourself to the FUD TV audience. I had the pleasure of meeting you, obviously, a couple months ago. And this is the first time we've gotten to really catch up. But how did you get into crypto? A little bit about your background, and a little bit about what motivates you about the space.
Oh, me first. Okay.
You first.
Well, my name is Robert Beadles. I've been with my wife since we were 14 years old. I got married at 17 years old. So the guy that you see that looks like my brother that you've met, that's my oldest son. He looks just like me, except, he's 23. So like I said, I got married at 17. So we had to kind of figure out, how we're going to make ends meet, how we're going to basically, feed the family, put a roof over our heads. Most kids are still in high school and I'm already married. So basically I started off in construction. always been a software and kind of a tech geek, but couldn't really make any money right immediately. So I got into construction. I did that for a few years, started my own construction company, built it up to one of the biggest in California, started a software company in 2009, started building programs for, like the United States Post Office, people like that. So got into software there. Guy named Max Kaiser kind of opened my eyes around 2010, 11, somewhere around there to Bitcoin. I think it's in one of my books that I wrote. I wrote a book called Here's What You Do, because a lot of people are always asking me, it's like, how'd you go from welfare and food stamps and poverty to, freaking being one of the state's largest employers? And well, I was like, well, here's a book, right? And so I gave all the money to charity. The software company, like
you
I said,
gave the money from the proceeds from the book to charity.
Yeah, I gave it to.
Sorry about the sirens in the background as well.
They've
been looking for me.
It's the SEC. Look out!
Oh God!
Have you been doing sponsored content? Did you tell people it was sponsored? Yeah. So, anyways, built software. Max Kaiser kind of opened my eyes to Bitcoin. So people started knowing, especially like close friends and family, knowing that I was in crypto. So they started asking me lots of questions, over the years. Around 2017 or something like that, when we had kind of this retail mania, everybody's just like buying everything. There was more and more of my friends and family just asking me all the time. It's like, hey, what do I do here? Is this good? Is that bad? How do I buy this? How do I sell this? I'm like, you know what, dude, I'll just put together one YouTube video so that way you guys know how to buy and to sell. And to tell you guys, and this is at the peak in the market, by the way. So this is like in late December. I'm telling everybody, guys, this stuff could go to zero. Watch your ass. Don't buy the hype, right? This stuff is super scary, super dangerous. Everybody's getting in. When people do that, maybe it's time to be getting out. So I did that right at the end of December, and it started gaining a lot of traction. So we started doing more and more of these videos to where we cover basically all these different projects only the audience asks me to cover. I never charge a penny to any of these projects we bring on. I don't monetize my YouTube channel at all. We could get 12 trillion views. We'd get 0 Satoshis for it. We give away $100 of Ethereum on every single video. So like even on this video right here in the description, there'll be a Gleam link. You just click that, you just do what it says. It's like a like, comment, subscribe. Somebody's going to win $100. We do that on Mondays at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard. I also give away hats and t-shirts. So even on this right here, I'll give away a hat to one of your audience members and a hat to one of my audience members.
Wicked. Yeah, so you hear it, guys. If you want to win a potentially $100 in Ethereum, right? Or a shirt, there's some giveaways to be had on Mr. Beadles' channel. And just to recap here, because I think you very humbly scooted over this, you were on welfare with a child in your teens, and you ended up building one of the biggest businesses in the state with over 2,000 employees. And this is all before cryptocurrency, obviously. And, I think that's a very inspiring story, like, not just from a lot of people who are in crypto who are, probably on the more sort of observant, financially motivated, sort of aware investing sort of type of people, but you also have they're aspirational, I think, are the crypto audience quite a bit. And so I think not only just to the crypto audience, but in general, people could really understand how difficult that is, to take yourself and build something sustainable like that. So I always like to make sure my audience knows that there's a reason why we're talking with this person. And in your case, you've done it. You've done what I think most people would aspire to, which is to create value and to be your own pillar in the world. So bravo to you. And, and I think that gives you a strong backing in entering into this new world and having some sort of baseline expertise to go on. It makes you less emotional. It makes you less dogmatic. It makes you more grounded and realistic. And it makes you also able to do things like outlast the bear markets. You're not going to, Monarch Wallet, which we'll obviously get to talking about in a little bit, your project is obviously going to probably keep going because you're not going to end up seeing your ETH drop and then all of a sudden everybody's fired. So, and that's a risk that a lot of you've seen. Now we're seeing the sort of phase of a lot of these ICOs that raised hundreds of millions of dollars saying, actually, we're out of money.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you. And, the warm sentiment. God's been great to us. We've definitely a lot of hard work, a lot of great people to make everything happen. And yeah, with Monarch, this is built on my and Snae's dime. So people that think that we just raised a crap ton of money from people and been building this on their dime, they couldn't be further from the truth. So yeah, this is built on our dime. It's free. We can talk about it later, but yeah, no, I appreciate you. And, maybe a little bit about yourself, man. So from audience on this side over here, they can tell us, you can tell them what you're, who you are and what you're all about.
So yeah, nice to meet you, the Beatles Nation. My name's Elliot. I go by Elio Trades here on FUD TV, and I've been in cryptocurrency sort of very casually at the beginning. A friend taught me how to mine crypto or Bitcoin back in 2013 is how I started, just sort of setting up a computer. I thought it was, really funny that you could do this, or just weird. I didn't take it very seriously, but I would just run my computer mining Bitcoin in the background. And then, over the different boom bust periods, I've taken more and less of an interest in it because my background is primarily in startup technology. I've worked for startup tech companies since, actually before I graduated from university, and just aggressively, pursued the dream of building products that influence people's behavior, add to their lives, and really is something that people want. Building something that people want, need, makes them better, makes them feel better. And that's what I feel is so uniquely powerful about, these devices we have, is we have the ability to reach people on a psychological and emotional level in new ways. And that's what motivates me personally. That's where I come at this from, is being a student of sort of startup products, being a student of how to build, develop, debug, release, build a community. My background is primarily in the marketing side of those operations. I'm not coding, but it's been my passion to build communities around great products for the better part of a decade now. And I'm very blessed to be working with people much smarter than me on the technical side. And I, life's a learning experience, and I sort of drive myself to learn as much as I can, both inside the blockchain and crypto space, as well as in the product development space. But when I analyze products, when I analyze cryptos, I'm mainly looking at them from the point of view of end user, product adoption, user acquisition. How are people going to receive these things? Where are they going to use them? How, at what point in the day, and really trying to be as realistic as I can in walking through how these products or these coins, these crypto assets will make their way into people's lives. Because I'm a firm believer that unless these assets become genuinely useful or relied upon, I guess is a better term, relied upon in a way that we rely upon other tech, then they're not going to have the effect that we all want them to have. So that's sort of my test, is how are people going to use them? Where are they going to use them? And I sort of draw upon my experience of building products in the centralized sort of, app and website world.
And you left out, man. You were one hell of a ping pong player.
Yes.
Forrest Gump, man. This guy here, really when we were it was Adam and Heidi's, they're with Busto. They did the Social Influence Awards. Maybe this was just a party. It was for the Litecoin Summit. They did a little party there. And we all got together. It was, I don't know, probably 100 of us. And that was some good times, man. You take ping pong very, very serious. He was like Forrest Gump, man. He was just mopping up the tables, kicking everybody's butt, including mine. So, yep. It's a machine.
I honestly, the truth is, at Busto, they had 2 employees that were just way better than me. And I would be lying if I said I was okay with it. I'm not okay with it.
Were those the guys that had like the busted kneecaps at the end of the night?
There was one guy that was their CTO, and then there was another guy who was in their management. But yeah, I don't know. They, if you're talking about the ping pong pro that was at that party, that guy he switched over to a paddle, which was like the size of like a big quarter, or so like a 50-cent piece or something, and he literally was just mopping it up with like a mini paddle and beating everyone. It was pathetic. It was absolutely embarrassing. But I'd say as a dedicated
tennis
amateur,
racket, so
he was a pro. I'm an amateur at best. So, but yeah, ping pong that's where I derive all my expertise for crypto. Is if I want to know which direction Bitcoin's going, I just throw a ping pong at the wall.
It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, it's off the table.
It's just a bounce.
There you go. Cool, man. So what all we want to talk about today? You want to talk about, the market? You want to talk about the Fed? You want to talk about what you got?
Yeah, I mean, I think people really want to know right now, not just about these pumps in the market. I think people feel how they feel, most likely would agree with us about them. There's manipulation that's clear in the market. Nothing happens. We get huge pumps between 3K almost up to 4K. I think people are pretty aware, especially my recent content that's been getting a lot of response. People are pretty aware that we're in a bear period, and it's not buy the dip and wait for it to moon the next day type of market. But, you know, there's a few other pieces of the news that are cool besides the sort of Bitcoin pump, which is, you know, Tether. You know, I think I'm really fascinated with Tether because there's the mystery, there's so many questions around it, and yet there's this undeniable success and this undeniable positioning of Tether as an asset that people truly rely upon in cryptocurrency, for better or worse. And I'm sort of like this new audit has just sort of brought it into the thing of everybody wanted to write Tether off as a scam, wait for it to crumble, wait for it to collapse. Oh, there's ties between the bankers and Bitfinex and Brock Pierce, and we can walk through each of these pieces sort of bit by bit. But it's an interesting situation to see now that they're showing bank records saying, hey, yeah, you can say what you want to say, but we've got at least a couple $1 billion in the bank. I mean, it's very, very interesting. And obviously I didn't see the billions. I didn't count them. You know, there's whatever, but, you know, Bloomberg reported, you know, all of a couple hours ago that Tether is legitimate to a certain extent, at least. So I guess, how do you feel about all this madness that is Tether?
Okay, so, you know, Bloomberg terminals, lots of money. These guys are, you know, very well known in the space. But for instance, like with Serum Labs, they just did an article on them where they took stuff out of context, published it out to the world, and scared the crap out of everybody holding Serum tokens. So here, now we have them saying that, hey, we saw bank statements, so Tether's legit. It's like, cool, but why isn't there an outside third-party auditing firm that's recognized by at least a country as being legitimate, telling us that there's money in your banks? Because, I mean, dude, let's face it. Probably anybody in our chat right now could Photoshop some document saying that they've got $20 trillion in the bank and send it over and say, look, this is my bank account.
Right? Yeah, I mean, I have that. You want some? You want some?
See, there you go.
I got 20 T's.
So I'm not saying they don't have the money, right? But it would mean a lot more to me, and I think the community, if some outside respected, you know, big auditing company came in, looked at their books and said, yeah, dude, it's legit, right? I mean, Brock Pierce, the guy that put, you know, basically Tether and Block One and DNA and all these huge companies for the past, you know, I don't know, 20 years plus. He's done a lot. He's super successful, super smart, crazy entrepreneurial. I'm not saying that it's a scam, but it would mean a lot more to the community if we could actually see with our own eyes somebody, you know, like a Deloitte or somebody else come out and say, yeah, they're legit, rather than using a newspaper or some kind of media, you know, mouthpiece to say, oh yeah, guys, we saw it. It's good. Wink, wink. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not convinced. You know, I'm not convinced, but, you know, I'm skeptical by nature.
Yeah, I think healthy skepticism is a just a great sort of way to approach anything in the crypto space. So that would put you ahead of, I think, most people. And I try to preach some skepticism on this channel. I know that people love to hear the moon talk, but you know, I wouldn't feel good about saying something that I don't believe in. And yeah, you're right. Why is it the case that there can't be an audit? You have billions of dollars, you can't get someone to audit. And I think that there's got to be reasons for that, right? We know, if we're going to rewind, we know that Tether's relationship with Wells Fargo dissipated. They originally started Tether in Santa Monica, and then they moved it to Hong Kong, I believe. And I'm going off of memory. I have some documents here, but this is going off my memory. They were then transferring. They launched a yen, and they launched a euro, and they launched a dollar Tether, and they launched them both on the Omni layer of Bitcoin as well as an ERC20. So they had sort of various different currencies in various different forms. And then they were using Wells Fargo to convert that back into dollars. And there was a period, I guess, at the beginning where you could convert into dollars. What I find very interesting is that they've now reopened this, and you can supposedly convert your tethers back into US dollars now, which I find to be, you know, it's one of those things that makes me hate to want to believe this. So, you know, it's like, well, I see how if you print a bunch of tethers and then you constantly trade them back and forth for Bitcoin, that after a while you can end up making the money back, especially as Tether loses its peg, and then you buy up the 80-cent tethers, and then you gets back up to its peg, and then you sell them back to the market. There's ways conceivably that I could see them, especially knowing that, you guys, if you didn't know, Bitfinex and Tether are very closely tied. So you have an exchange and the Tether very closely tied. So obviously they can put as much Tether out, they can market make, they can, and Bitfinex was accused widely of allowing for wash trading. It's widely believed that Bitfinex is where they sort of wash trade Tether to keep that dollar peg going, so that there's enough volume on that dollar amount to keep it pegged there at $1. So yeah, I guess I could feasibly see how you could print a Tether and then do enough funny business to earn that billions of dollars. But then there's a part of me that feels like there must, there's always some part of truth in every lie. And so, it's the question to me is, how much did they really start with? How much do they really have now? And if they really have billions of dollars now, then it's sort of like, do I believe that they'll be around for years? Yeah, I kind of do. I kind of believe that they will be around for years. Does it mean it's a good thing? Well, that's its own topic. But does it mean that it's going to be there? Like, if I buy Tether, is it going to go away? Is it going to evaporate? And I've become more and more in the camp that I don't think it is. I think you can hate on it, you can point the finger at it because, yeah, they own the bank. Someone in the chat was saying they own Noble Bank in Puerto Rico where they're doing their banking. And the person who did their first audit was this guy who actually was a partner in the Noble Bank and in Bitfinex. And there's all these little ties between a small web of people who are doing the banking and the auditing and whatever. But yeah, I mean, it is a bit suspicious when they had 250 million tethers in the world before their relationship dissolved with Wells Fargo. And then shortly thereafter, they have multiple billions after they're no longer using banking, services. So it's like, oh, now that you're not actually going through anyone remotely legit, you have billions hit the market. That's crazy. But then that they would have billions in their bank now. I mean,
well, the thing is, I mean, we're relying on what Bloomberg tells us, right? I mean, you said Noble Bank, which is true. That was their Puerto Rican bank that is defunct, went out of business, is being sold. They now, if I remember right, use Deltec in the Bahamas. So Deltec, it's in the Bahamas, right? Who knows? I mean, I live in the Bahamas. So I've got the Bahamas and California where I bounce back and forth. It's kind of a crypto bank. Before that, it was, a bank for other people. And when you start doing offshore banking, it's usually questionable customers of sorts, right? Especially when it's big dollars like this, right? So
Paradise Paper stuff.
Yeah, it's a Bahamian bank, right? At Deltec, and that's where they're currently at now. Who knows if it's real or not? Bloomberg wants us to believe it is. So, hey, as long as they haven't gone belly up and people are still able to use them, good for them, right? I won't use them personally. It's cool that you're actually able now to cash your Tether in for USD. Awesome, good job. They said that they were going to do that from the beginning. So cool that they're finally doing it. I prefer people like TrueUSD or Trust Token because you can actually, see where the money's at. You can actually see their bankers. They're kind of trustworthy of sorts. I know when somebody tells you that to trust them, you probably shouldn't, but and it's right there in their name, Trust Token and TrueUSD. But it's just one of their many products, right? And so, I kind of like them. I'm not a big fan of DAI, because it's Ether backed, it's like, okay, but if Ether goes to zero, then where'd all your money go, right? It's like
DAI is a bit bubbly. You could see the house of cards falling.
Yeah. I mean, you want something asset backed that everybody believes is worth something. So the only thing we have in the world that everybody's agreed on that is worth something is the US dollar, because we have the biggest aircraft carriers and tanks and missiles and freaking jets and the biggest army in the world and control like 162 different countries or something with our military might. So everybody's like, yeah, the dollar's worth something. So that's what it should be pegged to. So if it goes up or it goes down, it goes with the dollar and people can get a paycheck and all that kind of stuff. And when Tether drops to 92 cents, 96 cents, yeah, it's cool for the people that hold Tether because then you can arbitrage and buy it back at $1, make, 6 points, 8 points, something like that, but a stable coin should be stable. It should always be $1, right? So I don't know. Some people say stable coins are garbage. They don't mean anything. You shouldn't have them at all. Just let volatility roll. I don't think that works because everybody wants a paycheck. Everybody wants to know that they can make rent next week, next month, whatever. They want to be able to pay for their food. And they're like, well, I can't buy dinner tonight because, honey, crypto crashed 98%. Yeah, we don't need stable coins. Yeah, it's like no, we definitely do.
I was helping some friends of mine, very close friends of mine who are big in commercial real estate, try to tokenize some properties. And it was very early on. It was like about 6 months ago, so it was too soon to really do it. There just hadn't been a deal, and commercial real estate people, if you guys are not aware, tend to be on the more traditional side of the business paradigm, sort of on the business spectrum rather. And so they were just like, we're not going to guinea pig this, but let us know. And as we were sort of pulling apart the layers, it's like, okay, so I have a token that I own a part of a building, and when you own commercial real estate, it pays you every month. You get a monthly, you get a dividend off of what you're paying. There are profits that the property generates, and you distribute those to the shareholders or to the owners. And so, the question is, it's like, okay, so once we have these profits, we're already on a token. So do we then go and buy Bitcoin and send those out, or do we write a check and wire the money once we're already on a crypto sort of system? Like, that doesn't quite make sense. And then all of a sudden, if you're thinking you're making 10% return on your investment each year, well, if you get paid in Bitcoin and Bitcoin has a 10% down day, there goes your upside for the entire year. And so it becomes this interesting situation where a stablecoin is really the only option there, or not the only option, but it's by far the most sensible option, is to have a stable asset where you can distribute and you can send money. I mean, it's definitely certainly desirable. I mean, there's an argument that Bitcoin will stabilize over time, probably not anytime soon. But yeah, I mean, there's certainly an argument for stable coins as they fit into more complex businesses on the blockchain.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Michael P on your chat, he's asking, but why do you need Tether if it's pegged to the USD? Why bother? It's simple. I mean, if you're moving in and out of crypto all the time, you want something stable to put your winnings, right? Or your losses, whatever it may be, to where you don't have to worry about, okay, Bitcoin went up 3 Gs. All right, I'm going to hold it there until I figure out what to do with it. And then I look again and now it's up, 1 G, or it's down 2 Gs. So, when you find out, when you kind of set your number, you're like, okay, this is where I want to be. Like, say, for instance, I want a $20,000 Bitcoin. When it's 20,000, put a sell order, and then boom, it goes into Tether or TrueUSD or something like that. So that way, it's at least pegged to the dollar. So you don't have to worry about the volatility from that point on. So stable coins, for that's one of the reasons. And then also, if you're paid in Tether, it allows you to go out and buy stuff stable like the US dollar of sorts, or TrueUSD stable of sorts. That way you don't have to worry about paying for a t-shirt or something with $10 of Bitcoin, and then tomorrow it's worth $30, and you're like, damn, that just cost me 3 times what it's worth.
Yeah, it's an interesting proposition to accept and trade in Bitcoin at this level of volatility, right? In the future, totally. Like, I could see it stabilizing and it has percentage changes of maximum 5% in a year, and that's in 2-3 decades once and that's at you're probably looking at astronomical prices for Bitcoin at that point. But that's something we all hope is going to get there. But in the meantime, businesses can't wait 3 decades for something stable. They need to, and a lot of businesses don't care. They're like, yeah, it could be a lottery ticket, but people are like, yeah, but I don't care. I just want my business to run. A lot of people don't like the lottery ticket thing. There's people who just don't care for it. They don't invest in high risk assets, and they don't care about. They're happy to miss out on the upside to ensure that their machinery ticks forward. So I think that there's a huge case for stable coins, and having a reliable one, I think, would be part of the infrastructure that moves us into a blockchain based future. It's just it's certainly valuable. That's why people shout out everyone on the channel. Thanks for coming on. I hope you guys are enjoying this. We'll come and we'll do some question and answer stuff in a little bit. If you guys missed the intro, go check it out. Robert Beadles is a phenomenal businessman, very strong entrepreneur, and very dedicated to cryptocurrency. So thanks everyone for showing up. I know I don't do a lot of lives, so I'm going to do a bunch in the near future. I'm going to make sure to be out here. But so Tether, I think we talked about it. It's good. It's definitely a big question mark, but at the same time has been and we, as we talk about how much fiat is making up that Bitcoin valuation, right? Well, in theory, Tether's all fiat, right? So if you have Tether next to Bitcoin Cash, it's like, maybe Bitcoin Cash is $1 billion, or Bitcoin is $1 billion, and Tether's actually $3 billion. Like, maybe Tether has more fiat currency in it than any other asset. There is probably a non-zero likelihood that that's true, and so that to me is a wild thing. And just before we leave the Tether thing in the dust,
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a wild thing to understand that Tether might have that much influence on our young crypto economy here.
Yeah, I mean, they got a $3.6 billion market cap, and like you were saying, Bitcoin Cash, where is that at? Oh, it's risen quite a bit. It's at 401 million. So obviously, much smaller, but because of that fork. I just had Roger Ver on last night or the night before.
You
So
interviewed Roger.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
I'll
put
have
that
to go
video
watch
out.
that. I'll have to go watch that.
Dude, it was great. I kind of did the opposite of what everybody else kind of does. So Roger's a super smart guy,
Hmm?
and it's cool rather than just trying to debate the guy, and because he's already got his mind made up. He's one of the pioneers. He's been here a long time. You love him, hate him, whatever. I mean, he's a smart guy.
You're not going to change his mind.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to change his mind, and you're not going to change the minds of the people, so to speak, on him. And what Craig Wright and him and their little feud did to the community. But it was cool to get his views and perspectives on things, and so I'll push that video up tomorrow. But yeah, I think people will see a different side of him, and it was cool and an honor to have him on, of course. But yeah, it was when you were talking about Tether and Bitcoin Cash, it was like, yeah, there's 3.6 billion versus what is it, 400 million or something like that. Little difference, man. But I would imagine most people right now, they're probably worried about the market, right? They're wondering, is this real? Is this fake? Like we started it off, I said, I think it's manipulated. Do you think that this market is going to keep going up? That's what lots of people are saying, right? Is the market going to keep going up? Or is this just, kind of like a bull trap, a sucker's rally, something like that? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, to quote a great man who I'm quoting, who's quoting someone else. You show me you show me the charts and I'll show you the news. It's in the end, I am not concerned with trying to time the bottom. I'm not concerned with trying to catch the ultimate low dip. I do believe that this bear market will be unique, as every bear market and every crash has been. There has not been a cookie cutter crash on Bitcoin's chart. They all have taken their own trajectories. And I think this one is quite unique in a variety of ways, based on the level of notoriety, the level of, I guess, popularity and influence and understanding that Bitcoin achieved, and the level of bubble that it achieved as well. And I'm not saying that it's the biggest in terms of total US dollar value. We know there are bigger bubbles like these, like the stock market, the .com bubble, and a lot of people have said, oh, well, it's just a fraction of the .com bubble. Well, if you think about bubble in terms of percentage, right? How much percentage of actual value versus perceived value is in the crypto space? And this is something I think is a nice segue as we move into what I think we should talk about next, which is, people obviously want to know about what projects we love, that we support, that we believe in, and why, of course. And I think, a fundamental businessman like yourself and someone who's on my side of the coin, I know what's in my head is it's going to be about understanding why there should be value in any of these assets in the first place, and sort of returning back to that really grounded understanding of why assets should be valued. And so I think, we have the STO sort of avalanche that's probably going to hit us soon, right? Kind of at a weird time, right? As the securities market, the traditional markets are looking to be in a precarious place. Like who can say, there's a lot of stock markets crashing, huge global economic recession is upon us. There's a lot of that stuff. Obviously, that might take years to sort of work its way down. If it does do that, it might be sudden, who knows? But it is an interesting time to see security tokens be sort of just getting their legs, as securities themselves might be facing a really steep climb over the next couple of years, whether they're traditional stocks or assets like real estate, all those things. So what do you think you're looking at as far as token world, whether it's securities or token sales? Like what are you excited about for this next year, and what is in your mind are things that you think more people should be thinking about?
Well, I mean, there's lots of things, right? So if we want to just start off with, because there's multiple sections to this question. So I guess if we start off with, what do I believe in that's currently out there? If I look at the top 100, right? My number one holding will always be Bitcoin, right? So I'm a big fan of Bitcoin. Love them or hate them, XRP and Stellar, right? So you kind of got the banker's coin, and then you got kind of the people's coin, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a huge fan of EOS, and I know a lot of people are. And I keep going down. Tron, a lot of people, they're on both sides of Tron. People hate them. They think that they're just a bunch of thieves that stole Ethereum code and white papers and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? Maybe, but they raised enough money and that they created a legitimate company. And Justin Sun is out there every single day promoting, bringing on new partnerships, dropping all kinds of new tech. So Tron is one that I think will, there you go. Tron is one that I think will be around for a while. Cardano, Charles Hoskinson, one of the smartest guys in the space. He's starting to feel the pressure. He's knowing now that he needs to deliver, right? So I think we're going to start seeing some good things from, the ADA camp. Monero, that's always going to be the OG to Bitcoin, right? So for people in privacy coins, you can't go wrong there. Binance coin, I think that's pretty solid. And again, none of this is investment advice at all. These are just my personal, picks. Always talk to a financial planner advisor before ever investing. Binance coin, I think is solid. CZ is an animal. That guy he seems to know what's going to happen before it does and always makes the right positions.
Suspicious.
Who else I got
just
here?
Just kidding. But yeah,
Ontology. I'm just going through the top 100 for people here. Let's see here.
What I find kind of interesting is CZ's. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry. What I find kind of interesting is CZ. He was actually the head, the CTO at OKCoin, which is currently OKX, which I talked about.
Brock Pierce hired him. Brock Pierce was the guy that got CZ into the space.
So CZ worked as, and he essentially came out after he left OKCoin, which now is OKX, which on one of their bigger days is one of the biggest essentially exchanges by volume.
Two.
Right, but not right. And so and he essentially explained how they would fake all the volume, and it's so funny because you see their volume curve, and it's literally like a sine wave. Like it's the most artificial looking thing you've ever seen. And so I find it a bit insane that the person who essentially said his job was to fake volume at an exchange goes and builds a new exchange, and it's the biggest by volume. It's like, I love CZ. I think he's great. I think he's done a lot for the space. I'm just saying to not connect a dot is a little tough.
And that's one of the charts that I'll make sure I share with you guys is from these exchanges. It shows who has real volume versus fake volume. And almost everybody was fake volume except for, get this, Binance, right? So
maybe they've evolved.
This quite possibly could be put out by Binance, but CZ got his start from Brock Pierce. So, this is all just kind of intertwined. I don't know if people see that or not, but you got Tether, you got EOS, you got DNA Fund, you got Block One, you got Binance, you got all this stuff, and you got Brock Pierce, right? So
Brock Pierce is at the center of literally everything. Like you could do a whole documentary series on Brock Pierce and how he's affected crypto. But yeah, anyway, I think zooming out from this, you said a lot of great things. I think as we come into 2019, I think what we're going to see, hopefully, for me, is when people use a product, right? When they use something, when I go into Instagram, when I go into some social, when I go on YouTube, when I do whatever I'm doing, do I care what their stock is trading at? Do I care what the speculative value of that product is? Mostly no. 99% of people would say no, they don't. And so when you actually use something and it means something to the actual product, it doesn't matter what the price is. And I know that's kind of like become this like hyperbole, like, oh, blah, blah, but like when you use something, you don't care what other people are speculating its value is. And right now we have every single project, Bitcoin included, is just people pricing it based on what they think the value should be. And you don't have people using it just because their daily lives have come to include that or made better by that. And so to me, this is the transition from speculation to utilization. And so when I look at projects, it's purely through the lens of who is going to use it and why and how often. And if I can come up with great explanations for that, then I can start to arrive at some kind of price discovery, over the next certain point of time. But and that's why people say that, people are going to stop creating tokens and dApps and stuff. And to me, I think it's just beginning. I just think that what you've seen is people get killed for raising too much with too fluffy ideas without strong business plans, spending like they thought they were gonna have $1 billion to waste. And I think that the real entrepreneurs, just like we saw with the web revolution and the .com revolution, Yahoo was like put together on a dime, and all these phenomenal sort of internet products were really bootstrapped and put together without a lot of money, and it was based upon getting people to use it. And so to me, it's just about that utility, that actually having people use stuff, and that is the transition. And I know it sounds like cheesy and stupid at this point to say utility or usage, but it is just that simple of nobody's using this stuff. You go to DApp Radar, maximum couple thousand people in the last 24 hours. A couple thousand people, our investors would have chucked us out of the office in any other sort of traditional VC world. And so it's a total failure. Every one of these products, it's not a little failure, it's a total failure. And so that's sort of how I feel about the next phase. Is it's not about speculation, it's about utilization. It's about what products do people going to use, how quickly, what stages. Oh, is that 2022? Is that 2019? Is that 2030? Let's look at the ones that are short, that are here, that we can actually make something of in the next short while. And then I could start talking about your token and what I think about your token. But before I look at the product, I'm like, you know what? When am I going to see my neighbor be like, oh yeah, I need that, let me download that. Oh, I need that. Oh, that makes my life easier, And so that's sort of how I feel about it. And from that point of view, what do you think are the things you're most excited about for people actually getting their hands dirty and using?
So, I mean, right now, like you said, everything that's been out there is pretty much a failure. If you look, everything's been pretty much centralized as far as people getting into the crypto space, right? So basically all the on-ramps that have been, I guess, the avenue for people to get into crypto have been centralized, right? So you have your Coinbases, your Poloniex, your GDEX, all those types of things, your Geminis, Circle now, all this kind of stuff, Robinhood. You have all these things that are kind of centralized that are bringing people in. Why? Because it's freaking easy to use, right? And so everything that we've had so far is not easy to use. And until we actually have something that is easy to use, it is blockchain, that they don't have to understand the private keys, they don't have to understand, the copy paste, this and that crap, it's always going to be a barrier, right? So what we need to see is somebody, and I hate to say this, but you need somebody with a really big audience to implement their own crypto to get people, either in it now, or you need somebody to dumb it the F down, what they have right now, just dumb it down. Like they got to figure out exactly how to make everything like a centralized system, but decentralized, but to where the people don't have to know all the inner workings of decentralization. That right there is going to do wonders for the world. So it's either going to be somebody with a massive audience like a Facebook, because everybody already knows. And if they don't, they're going to see it really, really soon in the next few months, next year, tops. Facebook is going to be launching their own chain. They're going to be launching their own cryptocurrency. It's going to be part of the social media environment that they have there. People are going to be using crypto, and they're not going to know how, they're not even going to have to know how it works. Mm-hmm. So when you start having Facebook, with their billions of people using crypto, that is going to do wonders for the space. However, people are going to have to do it kind of the same way that they do it, to where people don't have to know how the decentralization part of it works, or they're going to have to be centralized like them. And so those are the things that are going to work. So somebody with a massive audience, or somebody that can do something completely decentralized to where it appears to be completely centralized. So we're still a ways away from that. Like with Monarch, we're doing all kinds of things to do that, to dumb things down, to make it as simple as possible. But there's still barriers, and there's always going to be barriers when you have to own your private keys and all that kind of stuff. So we're a minute away from that. But as soon as one of these big guys like Kick, Twitter, Facebook, I don't even know, maybe like a Reddit or something like that, when they start implementing things like this, you're going to start seeing it take off. As far as everything else, all these little dApps and crypto kitties and all that kind of stuff, they're fads. They're not usable day-to-day technologies. Let's face it, most people pick up their phone, they're looking at social media, right? They're
Correct.
looking at entertainment, they're looking at social media, they're looking at YouTube, things like that. That's where this is going to have the biggest effect, I think, up front, if it's not in the financial sector first, right? So people can agree that a wire transfer, having to deal with banks, international fund transfers, all that kind of stuff is a pain in the ass. I have to deal with it all the time with, my place in the Bahamas and California, having to pay for property managers, all that stuff. PayPal doesn't work there. So I got them all using crypto, right? So we know that it works. We know it's great. But again, the financial institutions, I think they're going to catch on to this too. And as you're seeing with like Stellar and Ripple and places like that, when they've got these financial institutions that are partnering with them, whether it's for XRP or XRapid or whatever, we're going to start seeing stuff like that. So if the banking industry embraces it, if the social media industry and the entertainment industry embraces it, gaming, if they embrace it, you're going to see this stuff take off, and it's going to be like wildfire. Everybody's going to be like, of course, duh. I've been in crypto since 2010, right? I am Satoshi,
Yeah.
and they're just going to figure it out, when they're tipping on some freaking cat meme, right?
Yep, it's great to meet you, Satoshi. So yeah, I agree with you. I think you said a number of great things, which is it's sort of caught between the present and the future. And I think that instead of fighting that, we should embrace that. I'm going to tell everyone just pause 1 second because I'm about to flip on this light switch because it's getting dark right here.
Hey, no problem. When you flip that on, I'll give away a couple hats. So I'll give away a hat to people on both channels.
So, right? So yes, what I was saying is essentially we're caught between the present and the future. And with regards to the products situation, there's a desire to make blockchain the solution for everything. And it's sort of like use blockchain just for what it's good at, or use it for everything. And there's been a lot of sort of like, I guess, deep tech sort of approach to this, which is let's just use blockchain for everything. And then we get this terrible product experience, right? Where things are slow, they're clunky, they're complex. Whereas when you go and my sort of feeling is, let's embrace this transitional moment we're in where blockchain is not great at everything, right? It's great at some things. And let's take those things and let's make them as easy to get your hands on as possible. And let's not offend people who are used to AAA quality experiences. Let's not offend people who don't want to wait more than 3 seconds for a page to load, or else 60-70% of people are out of there. That's just the numbers. So if every action you're doing is being slowed down because you're running too many things through blockchain, and your blockchain's not fast enough, or whatever the sort of combination of factors is, we need to embrace this transitional moment, and we need to make products that embrace the transitional moment. What blockchain is amazing at, let's have it there. What blockchain is terrible at, don't bury the utility of your product behind a certain aspect of blockchain that is terrible so right now, because what you're doing is you're not making a point by using blockchain everywhere and like putting it on everything like hot sauce. You're just actually ruining your product experience, and you're contributing to the fact that no one's downloading and no one's coming back. And so to me, it's a very interesting time, but it's all about understanding this transitional moment and building products for that transitional moment. And so to me, you brought up social media and saying this is one of the best use cases. And obviously, if you're a big FUD TV follower, you've probably caught wind of the fact that we're building a social media product. And that is exactly how we feel, which is we want to make this easy, and we want to make it so that millennials and Gen Z and the young kids who don't care if your project's running on blockchain or whether it's being powered by wind turbines in Neptune, they don't care. They want to see what they clicked on when they click on it, and and then the idea that they can then take their tokens and out of the app or whatever, that's cool, and that's something that'll be this added benefit. But it's only an added benefit once the experience is amazing and it's sleek and it stacks up to what they have in other places, and there's other features that aren't available there. Like that's one of the magic things is I think even if Facebook implements a currency, a payment system, even if they put blockchain in, even if they have a utility token that they issue, because I don't think they could do a security token with their stock, and I think might not. I don't know if it would even be possible to do a security token for them because they've already IPO'd. But that's a different question. But anyway, like even if they did a utility token, would they just allow you to spend it on ads and they just sort of use it for a marketplace thing, or would they actually allow you to really earn and have all these ways that you could actually benefit from the value that you're creating on the platform? Because every user watching, every like, every comment, it contributes to data and usage of a platform that adds to their valuation. So the idea that users don't get to share in this is sort of a core underpinning of our Tron Chat project. Of we are trying to reflect that value back out at our user base in a variety of features. But I don't believe that Facebook is going to be wholeheartedly working towards giving the value back to the users like we're going to try to. I don't think that will be in their mission, because they still have their stock price, they still have their investors and their quarterlies to live up to. And if they start giving all that money back to the users, then there's no way that they're going to continue to hit those. So I think that it's an interesting time, but But yeah, I think it's to sort of pin this thought up. It's about understanding this transitional moment, understanding what should be built and secured and used for blockchain should be used for, and understanding where you're reaching and you're ruining your product by trying to run that through blockchain, and that in time you could put it on the blockchain, but in the immediate future you're just stabbing your project in the foot.
Yeah, I mean, to a lot of your points there, I mean, there's no way Facebook is going to add value or share value or share profits or any of that kind of stuff, with their users, because that would end up being a security, right? That would end up being some kind of rev share, right? So they know that they're going to have to make some kind of, not even a rewards token. It's going to have to be kind of a utility token or a glorified gift card or something like that for the credits. So what you're doing is
cool, not even like a dividend, not even a dividend coin that pays you just for holding it. But say if you watch ads, it gives you some coin. Or if you people could tip, you could tip with, they probably will add tipping. That would make sense, right? But there would be a variety of actions that in theory create revenue for the platform that is not shared in by the user. So it's not like you're getting a dividend. It's like they're compensating you for your action, and that's more or less the approach that we've tried to take at Tron Chat. We're not building dividends. We're not building in ways that you can just hold the coin and get rich. That's not what our project's about at all. It's about user experience. Can we create the best user experience in the world where we get the cool kids in middle school and high school that are like, you know what? Screw Instagram. I'm actually having a great time on this app, and I'm making money, not because I'm just here early, but because people like my content, they want to support me, and I'm creating value for the network, and that value is being then reflected back to me, because Instagram has never paid out a dime, and yet that's where all the money's being made now. It's insane. At least on YouTube they pretend to pay you for advertising dollars. I've obviously never monetized my channel. You don't monetize your channel. To be honest,
funny. I get people all the time that say, "Oh my God, you've had 40,000 views on a video. Oh man, you must have made a bunch of money." It's like, dude, I could have 12 trillion views and I made $0 because I don't monetize anything. I actually run ads. I actually pay money, right? Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous that people say, but
and 40,000 views is not huge money, right? It's in the larger scheme of things, it's kind of potatoes, It's a little.
Yeah, even if you did monetize your channel, that might be a couple bucks. I would imagine. I have no idea. But I've never monetized my channel.
Not worth making my people sit through the ads.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That gets real annoying. So you're actually building on Tron. So you're on their new chain.
Yeah.
Are you doing it now? I mean, where are you at in your roadmap?
So we've built a lot of the core features. We're still working on our blockchain integrations. And, that's one of the reasons why we had sort of gone, we unveiled our project as we were sort of approaching the end of what we could self-fund for it. And we then, wanted to go out and essentially say, do people want this? And, we had this crazy response from the community. We got, I put out a video this morning. We got thousands of retweets and upvotes and dozens of press articles. And, I've been on a lot of different projects, and that response was certainly, without a doubt, the strongest reception for just a conceptual drop, of saying, here's our idea, and we're pre-product, but here's where we're at. And people really responded to it in this way where we knew there was something quite special about it. We had a lot of sort of outcry from the community saying they wanted to participate and support the project. And, we were going to build one app with a collectibles marketplace and a microtask marketplace. Microtask is like, oh, I want to go take a survey. And there's people who pay you for surveys. That's a big business, paying for surveys. Well, we're facilitating that. And so we're just delivering the person who's paying for the survey to the person who's taking the survey, and then we're paying them out in tokens. And it creates revenue for the platform as well. It helps us build and develop. All of it's very transparent. But just having these marketplaces, having these smaller different parts of the app, a paid inbox. Say you want to get attention from Cara Delevingne. Well, she's going to be on there, and she's going to, in theory, right? She's going to be on there, and you could then send her a message, and you attach crypto to it, saying, "Hey, Cara, if you reply to my message, I'll give you 10,000 Tron." Or we also going to build in like the reaction, like, oh, if you can get if you want to react, have a video reaction of looking at my message, we'll put this much. And the actual inbox is organized not by when a message was sent, but by how much crypto is attached. So it sort of gives we're trying to bridge real value with digital experiences. And so it's all about trying to how much time do we spend in social media? What do we really have to show for it? I think a lot of people, if they look back and said, well, what if all those hours were actually, benefiting me, not just in the emotional tangent, the sort of intangible sense, but in that way where I actually walked away with the ability to get an Amazon gift card or something like that. And we're going to have the ability to convert into gift cards as well. That's on our roadmap as well. So that's all we're trying to do is bridge the real value with the digital value. And so the way we see it is we're at a place here, and we're going to be using we're having a utility token just to facilitate all this. And that's where we're at is, this is where, we're going to start building into the future. We're about to release the first DApp of our ecosystem, which is Tron Radar. So as I digressed a little bit, but we're going to have a few different apps now because we have a few marketplaces that we're all going to go into one app, and it was going to take, or DApp, sorry, it was going to take a lot longer to get all these pieces of the puzzle together and release them in a single app. So we're breaking them out and releasing them as sort of standalone web products that we're then going to integrate into our mobile first sort of crown jewel DApp, which is Tron Chat, which, is a lot of paid, sort of we call it social 3.0, which is users sharing in the value of the platform by getting, not dividends, but by getting compensated for their valuable actions. That where the network would make some kind of gain from it, some kind of profits, we're going to share those with the user base. And a lot of different features that we hope will really inspire people to feel like they're getting an extremely valuable experience beyond just the likes and the comments. They're going, wow, this is real. I can actually exchange this for real things, or I can maybe even live off this at one point if we get big enough. And so that's where we're at on our roadmap. Is we've built a lot of these sort of core features, but now that we've had a different vision for how we want to get these products out faster, we're having the ecosystem approach. Every single DApp we're releasing uses the same utility token, so that's how we're sort of linking them. They're a family, and we think that our goal was not to pollute the airwaves with another token that nobody needs, but to create valuable user experiences and have people want to access those experiences through this token. That's how we're coming at. This week we're launching our first product, which is Tron Radar, and that's beyond just, we call it CoinMarketCap meets DApp Radar for Tron, but the analytics is just the tip of the iceberg. We really want this to be an editorial and publish. We want to bring attention and exposure to new DApps on Tron and potentially beyond, but we're focusing on Tron. And so the analytics is part of it, but it's all about okay, so we're going to build a bunch of DApps. How are people going to find it? Well, let's solve that, not just for ourselves, but for others. And so, it's about building an ecosystem where each project fuels the others. The next project we're going to really be focusing on and showing the public is the collectibles marketplace, which we're going to release as a standalone. And it's going to be the first collectibles marketplace on Tron. Officially just starting with Tron-based collectibles. We'll see, down the road if we can include others, but, we'll be releasing a lot of information on that. And then, we're going to be doing our own collectible, which we're really excited about. I'm actually secretly extremely excited about this one.
I can't tell that you're excited at all, man.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the collectible we're doing as well. And yeah, all of it's going to run off, we're going to use a single token for all of it. And we want to prove to people that there are experiences worth accessing on the blockchain. That's our core goal,
Yeah, I mean, and you're picking a great blockchain, with the community behind it, because, like I said in the beginning, there's a lot of people that, maybe don't like Tron, but they're starting to take notice. They're like, you know what, dude, they're still here. They're still putting stuff out where all these other places are closing down. They still have a strong community, and Justin's still doing stuff. So I think he chose wisely as far as a blockchain for longevity. I mean, obviously Ethereum has the most developers, things like that. But Tron has kind of this different environment, this different ecosystem, kind of this different sustainability case where there's this different type of people pushing it. So for the millennials and for people like yourself, I think it's wise, and I think it's going to be widely embraced, man. So you'll definitely have to keep us up on it, man, and let us know how everything's going and when you're going to be releasing things. And I'd love to try it out on air and see how it all works, man. It'd be cool.
Absolutely. I really appreciate that. And yeah, we wanted to launch with a product, a product ready to go. And that's kind of why we put this off, is we were, again, out self-funding everything, just getting Tron Radar up and running, and it'll be live in the next sort of 72 to, slightly 96 hours. I don't know. I'm not good with my multiples of 24 right now, but anyway, so but yeah, so there's that, and then to me it's it is Tron is great because they're new, but then they also went with reliable sort of infrastructure, and people don't understand. Yes, maybe Ethereum is the most scalable, but guess what? There are a lot of Ethereum developers. There's more of those than anyone else, and so the fact that you have programs you can code, decompile, debug in Solidity, which is Ethereum's language, means that we now have access, even though it's on Tron, to all Ethereum devs, more or less, that can easily adapt to Tron's ecosystem. And so
the virtual machine.
Correct. Yes, their virtual machine. And so we can really access a big pool of developers, and it makes our lives as project sort of managers a lot easier than, going to like a Neo, which is totally different.
Gotcha. I'm just going to take a quick second here, and I'd asked people a minute ago, who wants a hat, right? So I got to scroll through the chat box here and see who said that they wanted one. Give me 1 second here, and then for whoever I pick, just email me at CryptoBeadles@gmail.com, and I'll mail it right out to you. So let's see here. Jeez, that's a lot of chat there. Sorry, I've been missing you people. Let's see, what do we got here? All right, so let's see here. I'm doing a Alt F. Let's see. Nope, that doesn't work. Gotta scroll through all these comments here. Give me a second, because I said it a while back.
What's going on, everybody? I'm gonna say what's up to my chat for a sec. How's it going, everybody? For the Tron haters, I apologize. In the end, we're making, we have a lot of reasons why we picked Tron. No blockchain is perfect, and yes, Justin Sun has totally made up a lot of different stuff and misled, and that's true. But there's also positives about their blockchain speed, and their developer environment. So everything everything needs to be weighed, because there's absolutely no paradise here in blockchain. There's no perfect blockchain to build on right now. So you have to take just a circumspect view. Do I like the way Tron puts out information all the time? No, of course not. I definitely have plenty of objections to that. But in the end, when you're building a project, you have to make decisions on emotionally, and you have to make them based on what is going to favor the project. So sorry, go back to your giveaway. This is all right. More interesting than me.
We got a couple hats here, right? So we give away these on Mondays, plus shirts, and like I said, we give away $100 on every single video. So we announce those on Mondays. So I'm going to go with 2 Pats. All right. So we got Pat a Rat on interesting name on my channel over here. Name. So yeah. Pat a Rat Tat. All right. So you just tell me black or gray. I'll mail it out to you. Just hit me up at CryptoBeadles@gmail.com. And then over on your channel, we have Patrick Griffin. So just hit me up, CryptoBeadles@gmail.com, black or gray. Your guys' addresses. We'll make sure to get one of these hats out there to you. Also got shirts too. So whoever wants a shirt, let me know. I do this on Mondays. So I figured, we're doing a live stream. My audience is used to it. I figured, why not? Right. So we'll give away some hats and some shirts, as well as $100. Where did my screen?
Congrats to the winners. Patrick on my channel. Congrats. You see, it pays to show up to the live stream. So yeah. And yes, I am excited, guys. And I know this is not going to make any sense to you, Robert, but I usually have a pineapple, or at least on one of my videos, I had a pineapple behind me, and people just, for some reason, I think they like the pineapple more than me. But
I think you missed a movie, man. That's Kevin Hart. That was his safe word. That was his safe word, pineapples, right? Yeah. When sex got too rough, man, it was pineapples. So
is that what's going on, Fud Nation? Is this a Kevin Hart reference that I've been missing the whole time? No, I literally have I try to keep it. My girlfriend got me another replacement, but then it withered a bit, and I was like, who wants a dead pineapple in the background? So I guess I just need to figure out how I'm going to keep the pineapple there always. But I hear you, Fud Nation. The pineapple will return. Okay. I hear you.
That's funny. All right. And then I'll give away a shirt real quick too. That way I get the giveaways out of the way. Who wants a shirt? Yeah, who wants a shirt,
guys?
So these guys
show
are
some
soft.
love to CryptoBeadles here, giving away some merch.
It's all about giving back. So everything I do, just
pineapple.
Give away $100.
I can't address the pineapple. It's like an avalanche of pineapple comments as soon as I open the Pandora's box there.
All right, so let's see here. I'll go with Crypto Niffler for a shirt. Crypto Niffler. So there you go. You get a shirt. And then somebody on your chat, I don't see anybody wants a shirt. So, oh wait, here we go. Let's see. All right. So Robin Gomez, there you go, buddy. You get a shirt. So both of you just hit me up, CryptoBeadles@gmail.com. Tell me what size you guys wear. We got the shirts and the hat giveaway out of the way. All right.
Amazing.
I do this
amazing.
when we go live.
Yeah. This has been great. I mean, we could probably start wrapping it up. We've probably been on here for about an hour now, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure we all got something to do, including the audience, right? They probably all have stuff they need to go do.
All right. Well, let's just start, just sum it up with, I think it's perfect time. Let's plug Monarch. I want to hear a little bit more about Monarch, and then I'll shamelessly plug my project because you know what? I'm just so excited about it.
So for people that don't know Monarch, right? Basically, imagine you're building a skyscraper. This is the way I always started off. You need a really solid foundation. So that's our decentralized wallet. It's going to hold all the major cryptocurrencies. And then from there, you'll be able to plug in your bank account. Think Coinbase, right? Except you'll actually own your own crypto. So you'll be able to plug your bank account in, buy and sell crypto. You control the keys, not Coinbase. So you got that. All that is available now, with the exception of the buying and selling crypto. That is available by December 31st, right? So at the end of the month, you guys will be able to download the new Monarch app for free. You guys have I think, the world's best decentralized wallet for free. Plus, you'll be able to plug your bank account in, buy and sell crypto. You'll be able to buy and sell crypto through your credit card while owning your crypto, right? That's huge. Then we've also got Monarch Pay, which is imagine BitPay on steroids. That's for merchants. We launched that at the end of this month as well. So we've got the decentralized wallet for users. We've got Monarch Pay for merchants. That way they can take crypto and get paid in fiat. Next year, we allow for decentralized recurring payments. So that way, if you want to pay for your car payment, your mortgage, your Netflix, Hulu, whatever you want, using decentralized reoccurring payment transactions via crypto, you guys can do that. Forms for taxes, so that way you know how much you spend, how much you owe, all that kind of stuff, all in one place, all for free. We don't charge anything. Not trying to sell tokens. So just download it, try it. We've got it for Mac, PC. We've got it for Apple, for Android. Currently, you can download it right now. It's imagine Blockfolio. So you've got Blockfolio, you've got your news, you've got your decentralized wallet, market cap, all that kind of stuff right now in the Apple iOS. Android is a little bit watered down, but by the end of the month, you'll be able to, everything's going to be incredible. So wait for 12/31, download it for free. Just let me know if you love it or hate it. It doesn't cost anything. So don't worry about, this is no shill. It's free, right? So we give away $100 of free crypto on every video. We're giving away free wallets, free hats, free shirts. Just want to get people into the space because it doesn't do any of us any good just to sit up here and talk to ourselves. We need to get other people into the space, right? So, God's been good to us, man. We've made our own money. I don't need to freaking, make money off this stuff. Let's just get people into crypto so that way they can actually control their financial destiny. It'd be great.
Yeah, I love that. And, if you missed the beginning, go check out the beginning where we introduced Mr. Beadles and all the wonderful work he's done. Absolutely solving problems that will take the friction away and get more people in. That's, if we don't get more people in, then we're not going to go anywhere. That's just the simple truth of it. Is we all dream of crypto supplanting other types of systems, and it's not possible without easy wallets. Imagine teaching your grandma how to manage a private key. It's just tough. So having a great wallet is certainly one of those barriers to entry, and everything I've heard from everyone I've talked to has been very positive reviews of Monarch. But that doesn't mean you need to have one. Go tell Mr. Beadles here if you see anything going on with his app. I know he'd appreciate it because it would help him fix it. And so don't be shy. Use it, abuse it, see what works, see what doesn't, and yeah, we appreciate that contribution to the space.
Thank you. Yeah. And, we have our Telegram group, just Monarch Token, right? So you can go there if you have any bugs, any issues. We're there 24 hours a day. There's about 10 of us there. You'll be talking to me. You'll be talking to Snay. You'll be talking to my devs. We build all this stuff in house. That's what we do. So, we're actually the customer support, the founders, right? And so again, it's free. You can't, I'm not shilling tokens, anything. Just go download the app for free. Use it. Keep your crypto safe. You'll own it. You'll actually own your own crypto. You can plug in your bank account here at the end of the month and own your crypto, not Coinbase, not somebody else. If something forks, you own it. If somebody tries to seize it, they can't. Why? Because you got the private and public keys. So that's critical. I mean, you got to be able to protect your own money, right? And you can't in today's environment. I don't know of any other wallet where you can do this. So we're excited to do it and to basically give it to the world for free.
Yeah, that's amazing. I personally think you're solving a very different problem, but certainly a part of a bigger problem that I hope to solve with my project. Everyone knows that I'm making a project called Tron. It's about social media. We're building features that we believe are going to appeal to the next generation. And, I'm talking about people potentially even younger than me. We're building products that we want everyone from 9 to 13 to 15 to 22 to use and think are cool and think are different. And so this is about creating communities, big communities that rely on blockchain, and that's, to me, what I think is a big next step for us. We didn't talk about security tokens and all that stuff per se, but I think that if we're going to keep talking about the types of blockchain products and the types of blockchain different projects, I guess, that we've seen in this space, the big missing component is user adoption and crowds, hordes, millions of people saying, this is what I want to use. And once we start cracking that cookie, we can start talking about what it means to have Bitcoin take over and start challenging gold, or have Ripple replace Swift, and Stellar bring banks to the entire world, and all those things will keep happening. But really, it's about the user adoption. And so these are the types of products that get me excited, and that's what we're focusing on with Tron and the DApp Evolution ecosystem. We're calling it the DApp Evolution ecosystem because that's our goal, is to evolve DApps. And so our Telegram's DApp Evolution, and our website's daappevolution.com. Check it out. Would obviously love all the support we can get. And yeah, that's our main goal, is to build the community, grow the community. And by, we are taking the road of trying to build a product that we hope, gets these young influencers and different cool sort of people in the social media world to start using it, and giving anyone and everyone the chance where, if you're bored, you can go in and make some money, go in and earn, and have the ability easily to convert that earnings into something that matters to you, whether it's an Amazon gift card or buying the newest collectible, or, even promoting your own profile or whatever that might be. So, the goal is to create a community around products. And I think that we agree that we need more people here. That's the main thing.
Well, yeah. And the easiest way, the way it'll happen overnight, is if somebody with a monster, basically, user base gets into crypto, right? So if Facebook gets into crypto, something like that, crypto is going to be huge overnight. If we're not going to go that route, then we basically just need to create something that's better than what people use every single day, right? So if you're using Facebook and somebody comes up with a better Facebook that's blockchain, that's stupid, right? Stupid, simple to use. It's just awesome, amazing, and it's like, it's the total user experience, then you'll have people into crypto. But with all these barriers we currently have, we're basically preaching to the 1%. So we got to make things, we got to dumb it the F down, right? We got to dumb it down, make it stupid freaking simple, and then make it of more value than stuff that they're using right now. And it's going to be amazing, right? But we got a long way to go. And so many people were trying to put blockchain on everything, like you were talking about earlier. You got Long Island blockchain iced tea, all kinds of stuff like that. It's just,
it's delicious.
Blockchain this, blockchain that. And we don't need all this freaking blockchain, right? It needs to be, for an exact purpose, right? So with finances, with different parts of social media, things like that, there is an absolute use case for blockchain, for just putting blockchain on anything and everything and saying, I wonder why it doesn't work. Well, it's because it's not meant for blockchain, right? So
or at least blockchain today, it could be blockchain in 5-10 years, but right now blockchain is limited in its various ways. And so are you going to ruin your product by trying to put something through the blockchain that is a square peg through a round hole? Or are you going to try to build a real community around this, and enrich your product with blockchain, and don't hinder your product with blockchain?
Yeah. So we got a little ways to go, but we'll get there. We'll keep plugging away at it, as long as we got good people in the space, especially right now in this market. You kind of get rid of a lot of the greedy shills, and you get rid of a lot of the people in it for the wrong reason, that are just trying to scam people to take their money because they realize, hey, there's no money to take. So the people that you see in the space right now are pretty much builders, right? For the most part, they're pretty much builders. They got their heads down, they're working, they're trying to deliver something. And I think the stuff that you see now in the next 6 months, year, is going to dictate the future, right? Because this is the stuff that there's no money out there, right? There's no money coming into blockchain right now. People with ICOs, TGs, whatever you want to call it, trying to raise money, forget about it. If you're trying to come up with a new project right now, and you probably know this yourself, and you're trying to raise money, forget about it, right? You're better off getting into real estate, getting into freaking, I don't even know, multi-level marketing schemes of some sort, selling Avon, right? I mean, forget blockchain for making money right now, unless you're some kind of day trader. So the people that are going to be delivering stuff, over the course of the next 6 to 12 months, I think is the stuff that you're going to see that's going to be of real value in the future, or the things that have been here for a long time already to keep their heads down, that are funded well, that have a good marketing team behind them. Somebody like Tron, right? Because they've got really good funding and really good marketing. They may not be the best project or best product, right? Their blockchain may suck compared to a bunch of others, but these other people have no way to tell the people, right? And so if they got no way to tell the people, we're going to end up using what everybody knows about, right? Just like there's better things in CDs and DVDs and Blu-rays and all kinds of stuff, but they didn't have the funding or the marketing or any of that kind of stuff. So I think what we see over the course of the next 6 to 12 months is going to shape our future, and we just got to make it stupid simple for people to use, right? And the need for blockchain, right? So I think we're going to see that.
Yeah, and there is certainly, as you said, there's a need to continually increase and improve the infrastructure for sure. But there's also been a total failure on the end user service and dumbing things down. We've got a one-click, one-button world that we live in, and if you're making things a 7-step thing where you need to be extremely diligent to make sure you don't make errors, it's who wants that stress, And so it's somebody in my chat, Francis. What's going on, Francis? Agreed with you, saying it has to be better than what's currently out there on the market. It has to be better. It can't be just the same as, just as good. It has to be qualitatively better. It has to be something where people are willing to make the change, because change is brutal and no one wants to change. And so if you're able to make things so much better that people want to uproot, that's the real challenge. It's not just being as good as, it's being better. And I think that's it's like Steve Jobs would say, the bar is always up there. We're never even hitting it. And so, that's got to be the approach. And for some reason, it's been a very subpar. None of the products. Coinbase, the reason why it's so popular, it looks like every other easy to use website for the most part. It's the steps are easy, it's pretty. And that's why it's been successful.
They got customer service of sorts. It's an actual company based in the US, and they figure that their stuff is safe there. They don't know when they think, for instance, a lot of people don't know this. So maybe this might be a knowledge bomb for some people, and I could be mistaken on my exact math, but they say that they're insured. So when people think that, okay, if I hold all my tokens and coins on Coinbase, they're insured. Yes, they're insured, but for what I've been told is 2% of their holdings, right? So that 2% is all that's insured. The other 98%, sorry, you're out of luck, right? But the reason why places like Coinbase keep prevailing is because it's stupid simple. People just, I want to buy Bitcoin. Okay, here's my credit card, here's my bank account, whatever. Okay, buy, done. They don't know that they're not even entitled to a fork, that Coinbase is going to get the fork. They don't know that if Coinbase goes down, they lose their tokens and coins. They don't know any of this stuff because it's so new, right? It's just so new. People don't understand. So that's why I see a real need for people that want to get into the space to actually own their crypto, right? So that's one of the reasons, Monarch is around. So you can own your crypto, decentralized, right? So we just got to dumb things down, make it easy for people. And looks like pineapples. We got Kevin Hart in the house. So
people be loving the pineapples. The pineapple loves you back, everyone. Pineapple loves you right back.
Well, we've been going for a long time. I'm sure everybody's ready to get on with their day, go watch some football or something, right?
Yeah, let's wrap this up. I just want to say thank you to everyone who came out. Thank you to everyone on Beadles channel. Thank you to everyone out there at FUD TV who hopped in this live stream. We got a nice crowd here. We've been sort of hovering around that 150 range. So big shout out to everyone. Do me a favor and smash up the like on this video. And of course, go ahead and give Robert Beadles, CryptoBeadles, at CryptoBeadles, a follow here. He is an amazing guy, great entrepreneur, and definitely deserves your sub.
It was great hanging with you, man. It was cool to hang with you in San Francisco. It's great to hang with you now. It's great to always hang, with the family here. I got them on the left side. I got your audience on the right side. So, so many familiar faces. Well, I guess names, right? So we got Jack Martin, Colorado Crypto Baby. We got a new guy, Pat a Rat Tat. We got Octavius and Lynn, and all these people. I just love them. So there's a lot of people here, great people. Even BitBoy dropped by. And over on your side, a lot of really cool people, man. So great communities. Looks like we both got. So yeah, whoever's not following Elliott Trades, make sure you guys go over do that. FUD TV. So. And I appreciate everybody on your side as well. It's been a lot of fun, man. It's been great to meet your community, and it's been great to talk shop with you. And I look forward to the next time, especially some ping pong, right? So You can kick my
Absolutely.
ass again playing ping pong. That'd be fun. Forrest.